Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing in Michigan, and these are your latest headlines from around the world. The Canadian Prime Minister has condemned a series of attacks upon Catholic churches as anger grows across Canada over the deaths of indigenous children at residential schools over the past 2 centuries. It's thought that 150,000 indigenous children were taken from their families and forced to attend such schools during the 19th and 20th centuries with the aim of assimilating the children into Canadian society, with many of those schools operated by the Catholic Church. Some estimates suggest that approximately 6,000 children died while attending the schools, with mass graves being discovered at various locations in recent weeks. In the wake of those revelations, Catholic churches across the country have been attacked, including 4 located on tribal lands in British Columbia, which were burned to the ground amid suspicious circumstances. Now, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has expressed his disappointment over these attacks, saying that destroying places of worship is not the way to go. There are claims that a 14-year-old Christian girl by the name of Shama has been kidnapped by a gang of Muslim men in Pakistan. According to the church-run Asia News press agency, the abduction took place in the afternoon of June the 24th when 4 armed men broke into Shama's family home in the southern city of Karachi. The report blames the incident upon a group of security guards from a local pharmaceutical company where Shama was working. The Catholic Justice and Peace Commission of the Archdiocese of Karachi say they fear that one of Shama's abductors may now claim that she is married to him and is converted to Islam, which would prevent her being returned to her family. Over 13,500 Irish lives have been killed in the womb since the country legalised abortion 2 years ago. That's according to new figures issued by the Irish government. In response, Prolife campaigners will host a series of rallies across the Emerald Isle on Saturday, July the 3rd, with a virtual national rally to take place the following day. The event will be addressed by a series of prominent pro-life speakers. The Catholic Church in France has expressed disappointment over a controversial new bioethics law that allows in vitro fertilisation treatment for both lesbians and single women. The legislation proposed by the République En Marche party of President Emmanuel Macron was passed in the lower house of the French Parliament on Tuesday, June the 29th, by 326 votes to 115, with 42 abstentions. The Catholic Church opposes deliberately depriving a child of his or her mother or father, and also opposes IVF as a means of reproduction. Pope Francis has told Lebanon's Christians to look to the future with hope. The Holy Father made his comments at the conclusion of an ecumenical day of prayer for Lebanon held in the Vatican on July the 1st. As many as 10 senior leaders drawn from various Christian churches in Lebanon came to Rome for the day of prayer and reflection upon the current situation in their crisis-hit homeland. Pope Francis reminded them that Christians are called to be sowers of peace and builders of fraternity. He also exhorted Christians to set aside past grudges and regrets and to look with hope to the future. Quoting Lebanese poet Khalil Gibran, the Pope said that there is no other way to come to the dawn than passing through the night. He concluded by urging all Lebanese Christians to entrust their efforts to Christ, the Prince of Peace. Meanwhile, Catholics in South Korea have been commemorating the 71st anniversary of the outbreak of the Korean War with prayers for peace and unity. The Archbishop of Seoul, Cardinal Andrew Yeom, offered Holy Mass at Myeongdong Cathedral in the capital city on June the 25th. That's the day in 1950 that communist-backed North Korean forces swept south in a bid to topple the US-backed South Korean regime and to reunite the Korean peninsula, which had been divided between the Allies following the defeat of Japan at the conclusion of the Second World War. That invasion precipitated a conflict which lasted until 1953 and cost the lives of over 1 million people. Korea, meanwhile, has been partitioned along the 38th parallel ever since. In his homily, Cardinal Yeom prayed for unity and stated that peace is not simply the absence of war, adding that silencing the weapons and extinguishing outbreaks is a necessary condition for starting a journey that leads to peace. Finally, the Diocese of Colorado Springs in the US has a new bishop. He's the Most Reverend James Golka. Bishop Golka was ordained to the episcopate on June the 29th, the solemnity of Saints Peter and Paul at Holy Apostles Church in Colorado Springs. The principal consecrator and celebrant of the Mass was Archbishop Samuel Aquila of Denver. Bishop Golka succeeds Bishop Michael Sheridan, who retired earlier this year upon his 75th birthday. That's the age at which all bishops are required to offer their resignation to the Pope. Born in 1966, James Golka served as a Jesuit lay missionary volunteer for the Native American missions in South Dakota before entering seminary. Ordained in 1994 for the Diocese of Grand Island in Nebraska, Father Golka has since served in various parishes, including most recently as rector of the Diocesan Cathedral. Good luck and God bless Bishop Golka and Multos Annos. Well, that's all your latest headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also visit us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.